Hi, guys, good evening, and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host, Eddie, and in tonight's video, I will be doing my episode review for the final two episodes of the limited series from National Geographic, The Hot Zone. Before I begin, of course, please be warned this is going to be a spoiler-filled episode review. Again, if you're not caught up on The Hot Zone by the two final episodes, do not keep watching or listening, as I will be discussing plot details, story points, and characters. So, you have been warned. That being said, let's jump right into it. What a great mini series. What a great limited series this was. I mean, I felt like it was a good blend. I mean, it was mostly factually accurate to my understanding, with like a good blend of some suspense and drama to it. And overall, just very entertaining, very engaging television. I mean, I love the fact that even though it ended on a fairly happy ending, I mean, yeah, people contracted Ebola, but it was non-lethal. It wasn't killing them the way it was killing all the monkeys. Like, only 4 people contracted it, but, they recovered from it, and nobody really died besides the monkeys, but they came very, very close. Like, this could have been a deadly, horrific outbreak that very well could have decimated the state of, Washington, D.C., or maybe half the country. Who knows how bad it could have been, but let's not think about that. Great performances by some awesome actors. Juliana Margulies, I'm really sorry if I'm butchering that name. Of course, Liam Cunningham from Game of Thrones, always a great actor. And everybody else did a great job. I loved how these final two episodes where it's like Colonel Jax was prepping his troops almost for battle, but a different kind of battle. Like, this battle was on more of like a medical viral front, not combat with the enemy straight in your face shooting at you. This enemy is like one that's seen and unseen. Unseen as a virus, and then seen as infected monkeys. So it was definitely like very much like a combat situation, I would imagine, just without the gunfire and the bullets raining down upon you. But I liked how it had like an element of horror to it. Even though like the monkeys were ravaging wild animals, they were still like aggressive, defensive, hungry, and they had been locked up for days without any change in water or food. And they were naturally a little angry when the people were trying to jab them with syringes and drug them and euthanize them. And it had a good element of horror and suspense in these final two episodes. Suspense because it's like, are they going to catch it in time? Is anybody going to die from this? Did any of the monkeys escape, or could they escape? Because honestly, I didn't know the real story of this until after the final episode, when the closing credits are revealing, how new protocol procedures were put in place after the 1989 outbreak, and how Ebola is still, unfortunately, very much active, and to this day and age, it's still in Africa. It's still killed many, many people, and to this day, there is still no cure for it. You think a virus that was discovered over 40 years ago in Africa in 1976, they would have found a cure by now, but no, that's like almost 40 plus years later, and there's still nothing to stop or combat this thing, and that is terrifying. I found the concept of nuclear war horrific, and I still do, but the concept of universal disease is equally as terrifying. I mean, even in the closing scene where our characters are testifying on Capitol Hill to the senators about how they were just a hair's breadth away from catastrophe, it was just a reminder, I think, to the characters, and a reminder to the audience that life is very, very fragile and unpredictable, and we're not alone on this planet. We share this planet with animal life and plant life, and unfortunately bacteria life. And not all bacteria is bad. Some of it is good, but with like unseen organisms like bacteria and viruses, you never know what's out there. I bet you many people are going to become this much more germophobic after watching the show. Or if not germophobic, at least much more aware and cautious as to what they're going to be touching or who they'll be touching and whatnot. I was pleased to see that none of our main characters died. The CDC guy, who I thought was a bit of an arrogant prick, turned out, turning out to be okay for the most part. I mean, he did get chewed out or called out for why the CDC didn't respond right away to, like, as soon as they got wind of the first case. But I'm glad our characters survived for the most part, and that this turned out to be a victory. I love that they got the Ebola shaped. I loved the Ebola shaped cake they got for the soldier who came out of the 21-day slammer. I thought that was nice, a nice way to commemorate that moment. But I think the overall, I mean, it was a very gripping, very entertaining series, limited series. But the overall message is you can't be too careful, and we should be extremely mindful of these things. Whether they be big or small. The message still stands, is that life is very fragile, if not very precious. And we should try to do everything we can to enjoy the people and the time that we do have on this earth. And who knows if or when it'll be cut short or how. I think that's one of the messages behind this. I don't know. I might be reading too much into that, but that's the takeaway I'm taking from this, besides the fact that this could have been so much worse in the real life incident, where this outbreak could have killed, if not just, like, if only got 4 people sick who recovered from it, but it could have killed, instead of like killing or infecting 4 people, it could have like infected and killed 4 million or 400 million. I don't know. Those numbers might be a bit out there, but I just feel like it could have been so much worse, and they were incredibly lucky that it wasn't. So overall, I'm pleased that it had a fairly happy ending. Despite being based on real events, I was very satisfied that it had the ending that it did, and it was a very entertaining limited series, and I very much enjoyed it, as I hope you guys did too. So what did you think of the Hot Zone limited series? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you enjoy it more than you thought you would? Were you disappointed? I want to hear your thoughts, opinions, and your feedback down below in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching this episode review here on the EdWord. The Hot Zone is now available for purchase and for viewing on Amazon Prime, and hopefully soon it'll be available on other platforms as well, such as Hulu, perhaps in less than a year or so. But it's also available on National Geographic, where it was originally premiered, so you can always rewatch it there too. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Thanks again for watching, and of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.